We've got London Clarkson, head coach Amaka Agugwa-Hamilton. You may call her Coach Mox. And Camryn Taylor. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open it up for questions. We are streaming it, so please raise your hand and speak into the microphone. Coach.
All right, I'll start here. Do you want the team to hunt threes a little bit more? Or are you, like, what's the balance that you're looking to strike? You know, there were a couple late, but I think for a while it was only like 5 or 6 had been taken like through the third quarter. Is that, where do you want them to be at this point?
Well, there's not a number on it. I just want to take high percentage shots. So there we go. There's not a number on it, how many threes we want to take a game, but just take high percentage shots. So if we're open or we drive and kick, we definitely want to take those if we're in rhythm, because I think we have a lot of great shooters. There was a lot going on last week, obviously, and we still, have our football players and coaches in our hearts and prayers. And I think that kind of threw us off a little bit just from the outside, because last week, those 2 games, we didn't really shoot it as well. So today, we just wanted to come in and create better offense, high percentage shots, get into the paint. People were sagging off us a little bit, and just create a little bit more that way. So it's not really a number, because we practice a lot. We practice trail threes. We practice, inside out threes, things like that. So when the opportunity comes, I want them to take it, but I just want it to be a high percentage shot.
What did you see there in the fourth quarter that allowed you guys to pull away, because things were pretty tight through the first 3 quarters?
Well, first of all, we just kept defending, and then our defense created our offense. We were able to get some rebounds and start the break and then get, again, good shots. But then also we were moving the ball more on offense. So just playing together, taking what the defense was giving us. Obviously, they're gonna double these 2 probably all season, but then also just working on creating more for these 2. So if they double them, maybe we can kick out and then go back in, or maybe we can drive and draw 2 and then hit them. Different ways to get our post game and also just points in the paint going. So I thought later in the third and into the fourth, we did a better job of that.
Coach, you exceeded your the team exceeded their win total from all of last season tonight with still 3 games left in November. Just talk about, first of all, how proud of you are of the team for coming along so quickly, and have they kind of exceeded your expectations, or is this kind of right where you expected to be at this point?
I was hoping to be. But I'm very proud of them. There's so many things to be proud of, and just speaking on just recent events, there's still a lot of healing that's going on with this team, with our community, just UVA athletics. So I'm proud that they're able to put things in kind of compartments and just give to their teammates and show up every day with the same hunger and focus that we need to continue to win games. So I'm very proud of them. And I'm also proud, especially these 2 right here. Just quickly, I challenged Cam at halftime just to be more physical and aggressive, because I think Cam's one of the most versatile scoring post players out there. And they were kind of taking her off her rhythm a little bit. So I loved how she came out in the second half. And that's the Cam we know. And she was very physical. She was aggressive. She was obviously scoring, but the way she was scoring gave our team a spark. And so I'm proud that she was able to do that and just push through adversity. And then same thing with London. I run plays for London when she gets in the game, because I really believe in her talent. And, I just want her to walk with that confidence, too, when she's out there. And I saw her kind of come into her own here, even though she was dancing a little bit on that and one. But, she put the team on her back. We were struggling to score in the paint. We're struggling to score, period. And London came in with some fire. So just really proud of these 2.
London, you had 3 steals today. What is it in your game do you love playing defense? Like, how does that, how do you mesh that? And then also when you're pushing in transition, making those decisions and whether you go to the bucket, whether you're going to dish, like, what do we got going on there?
I'm laughing because usually we're not supposed to push it in transition. But yeah, I mean, defense is what I love to do, and I really do believe, like she said, once you play good D, you can create your own offense. But I just remembered our game plan and really remembered their plays. So every time that post came up, I knew they were gonna try to dish it down to her. And then just reading the point guard on the passes they were making, I noticed their passes were like really sloppy and slow. So I knew I could like jump it and just go. But yeah, I don't know, transition wise. Coach Chris, I do a lot of extra conditioning with him, so I'm just trying to run and get out and go get an easy bucket.
And Cam, you guys are 6-0, undefeated, especially with the week that you guys had last week. Can you just take us through the thought, like just kind of what went through your mind, and went on the road and got 2 really tough wins? You obviously, the team played with a ton of emotion, and then being able to come back home, this is what the dream would be, right? 6-0, it's what you hope for, but is it beyond what you had expected at this point?
I think, this team, we have a lot of talent, and I feel like with last week's events and tragic shooting, a lot of us were really close with, including me and Lena, we were really close with those victims and the 2 that were wounded in the shooting. And I think we were like, let's just play, let's honor them, because it wouldn't be fair if we didn't. So it was very hard. The Loyola game was very hard, just emotionally. I mean, we knew that was on our shoulders, but we just came out with a win, made sure we stuck with each other, came together, and we got 2 road wins too. So I think that was very just great of us to do that, especially with everything that was going on. So, and obviously we still have heavy hearts, and we're still going through what we go through. But being 6-0 is something to celebrate. I mean, we were talking about how wins don't come easy. So we're just very proud of ourselves and want to keep this momentum going. And obviously we still have some more games in November. And once we get to December, obviously we'll have practices more. We can fine tune some things offensively, defensively, and just kind of keep things going.
Coach, if you could talk about the team's ability to turn defense into offense, 25 points off 25 turnovers, and just how that's got to make you feel good going into the weekend.
Yeah, that's got to be our staple, defense and rebounding, because we are just so versatile. There's a lot of things we can do on that side. We got high IQ kids. We got bigs that can guard in the perimeter. We got bigger guards that can guard inside. So there's things we can do. So when you're not really getting it going offensively, again, defense can create offense. And that team we played is good. Campbell's a good team. They're big. They're physical. They run their stuff pretty good. So for us to be able to blow up their offense like that just shows how good we can be on that side of the ball.
I'm going to stick with defense again. I feel like tenacity is the first thing I think of when I see Taylor playing defense. And I'm not a coach. I haven't played basketball, but I found myself just drawn to watching the way she positions her feet, the way that she moves, how much she gets her hand in the face. Like, what makes Taylor such a good defender? And I guess, London, if you want to talk about like what it's like playing alongside someone that brings that kind of energy, I think is probably a way to describe Taylor's defense, but just those 2 things.
Yeah, I'll go. Tay, she can play both sides of the court like the entire time. So we as a team have to match her. I feel like playing with her, she brings that energy, especially on defense, because it's like she's up there playing defense. Like, we got to match her no matter what. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously very athletic and physically strong, but she plays angles very well. So that's why she's able to draw. I mean, it's really hard to draw charges when you're guarding on the perimeter, and she's able to cut people off and get her chest in front of the ball. Does it go her way every time? No, but that's an art, and she just is really quick with just cutting off angles. So she's, really frustrating the other point guard, and they're trying to set up an offense, but at the same time, you got somebody like that in front of you, it helps us.
I guess this goes for all of you guys, but Coach, preseason, you kind of talked about installing this killer mentality, or just, teaching them to not be okay with losing. How have you seen that take form now, sitting at 6-0?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely the mentality's changed. It probably changed, first of all, when I said this before too, when I came in here, nobody had a losing mentality. All of them, they wanted to compete. They wanted to win at a high level. They just were on a team that was losing last year. So that was one thing that I was shocked before I even met them. Coming into individual workouts when I first got hired, I thought I was going to have to change the mentality, get them to work hard, things like that. First workout, people are working hard, they're talking, they're hungry. So I think that's already completely changed. And then the way we structure everything, even in individual workouts or practices, there's a winner and a loser at every drill. So you start to, get even more competitive before we even start playing games because you don't want to lose a drill. Because if you lose a drill,
You run.
so,
5 push-ups.
or 5 push-ups. So that kind of just builds that whole mentality or expectation, I guess you could say, to win. And that carries over into games. But, today I didn't really like the first half, obviously. The first half was a little bit slower for us, especially offensively. Defensively, we're pretty good. So at halftime, it was just about, y'all, let's just play harder. Let's just do what we do. Let's play together and go out there and finish this game. So we were able to do that.
Coach, if you could talk a little bit about this weekend. Got 2 more quality opponents coming in on a back-to-back. Just talk about how you can keep that momentum rolling into the weekend.
Cam has a little bit of a cold. I don't know if you can get her a tissue.
Sorry.
She's got a lot going on over here.
Sorry, y'all.
Sanitizer anywhere? No. I'm sorry. What? You talk about the weekend. She's over here snorting in my ear and all kinds of stuff. I didn't hear your question. Okay. Yeah, this weekend. We got 2 great teams coming in here. I think it's gonna be good. Both of them are different. Minnesota plays very fast and on transition offensively. East Carolina plays a lot of zone. Just two very different teams, but 2 really good teams. So for us, we haven't had a back-to-back game yet, but we've had short turnarounds where we've had one-day preps and things like that. So we've kind of understood the mental preparation piece of that, and it's going to have to be even more with a one-day prep. With a back-to-back game. So I try to keep them as mentally and physically fresh as I can. Obviously, we're still preparing for the game, so nothing's really going to change with that.
All right, great. Ladies, thank you very much. And just a note for everyone, this is our first 6-0 start since 1997-98.
No.
You were?
2000.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you.
one.
Thank you,
Older than
everybody.
me?
Yeah.
What's your October? October 17th, 2000. Oh, wow, that's tough. I'm going to the crib. We eating good.